Welcome back to 7th Grade Mustache. On today's episode, we'll be speaking about cowardly service. All business interactions are built on trust. Efficiency is saving money without changing your operating strategies. Cost cutting and taking benefits from customers is not efficiency, because that will ultimately result in a shrinking customer base. Loyalty is another form of trust. Consistency is part of the foundation of trust. Trust is created through relationships. Every relationship begins with distrust. I don't know this person, but it moves to neutral and then finally trust. This discussion is what we're focusing on today because it seems that as time has progressed and tech companies have taken hold of everything, but they're founded by people who have horrible social skills. And this type of behavior has been allowed to permeate through the types of businesses that they run and the services that they offer. And they created a society where they can hide behind a software application and they don't have a direct phone number where you can call and talk to a person. Or if you can talk to a person, you're speaking to somebody on another continent who doesn't have the correct cultural context to relate to you. And it creates friction. And it creates distrust, and it creates an environment where people are fed up with trying to get their problem solved, but they don't have anything to really help them solve their problems. And so what it becomes is, we're going to offer you a service and we're going to take your money, but we're going to do the bare minimum. And so what happens is that people try to fix this problem and they go onto the web page or they go into the app online and they're trying to find a number or an email to talk to somebody. And these cowards, because they're cowards, they're afraid to have direct contact with people and look people in the eye and give a man a firm handshake. They will hide behind lawyers and a business practice that keeps them from directly interfacing with the public.
But they also know that what they're doing is shady on some level. You understand what I'm saying? They literally are aware that what I'm doing is kind of fugazi. I don't want any confrontation. I don't want to have to talk to you directly.
Do you know how many people would be fucked up, beaten, and probably killed if there were a physical address for all these crypto rug pulls?
How about this? The non-confrontational bullshit. How many people have you heard complain, man, they fired me today? Like, what happened? Man, they called me. I spoke to my boss. They called me into work. I go into work. I work 4 or 5 hours. And then after 5 hours, they got me sign some papers and they fired me. I'm like, that's fucked up. Yeah, you could have told me on the phone.
They wanted you to come into their environment and make you think that everything is okay and put your mind at ease, and then they pull the rug out from underneath you.
They wanted the advantage. That is exactly what they wanted. Or here's an example, but this one had a positive ending. You know about this. I've been selling stuff on eBay. For years, I was doing great.
I think recently, eBay was the beginning of that.
Yeah, perfect example. But I sold 3 things where the people, and they wanted their money back. They never sent the stuff back. So this last time, I said I wasn't about to let that happen. I had these Dragon Ball cards in the pack. Now, I admit the plastic was torn, but the pack had never been opened. I send him the old boy. I get the $75 for it. Everything is cool. He's like, oh, this ain't what I ordered. These are Pokemon cards. He's lying to me. And I'm like, what? So I said, send my money back. You scammer. He's calling me a scammer. I'm like, I'm not sending you anything back. I sent you what you asked for. So I said, well, send me a picture, because I'm like, well, maybe there was Pokemon cards in there or something. And so he sends a picture, and I see on the floor where he opened 3 or 4 packs of my cards on the floor. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to mess up your review. Just give me half the money. He's negotiating. He's a little terrorist. So I'm like, nah, we ain't doing that this time. You know, I lost on the last 2. I'm not losing on this. So I contact customer service immediately. Yeah, it's a guy overseas. He's foreign, but I sent him the picture, and I sent him all the screenshots of all the conversations. He spotted right away, like, hey, this guy's full of crap. I'm like, yeah. He literally opened the product. He didn't find the expensive card he wanted. Now he wants me to reimburse him. This is what you were talking about when you talk about cultural context. Sometimes when you complain to somebody overseas, and I'm not dissing them or anything like that, it's not a language barrier as much as it's a cultural barrier. and you're trying to explain to somebody why this is not cool, this is uncouth, or this is dishonest. And this guy spotted it right away. He said, because I sent a picture and I circled, and he's like, yeah, I see the cards on the floor. He said, yeah, don't worry, we will not let this guy mess up your review, yada yada yada, and no, you don't have to give him the money back. But again, Roscoe, you were just talking about a situation where, like I said, they send the customer service overseas, yeah, because it's cheaper, but also because those people will not give you your money back. If the bosses say don't give them the money back, they won't do it.
Because they come from a culture where you don't get your money back.
Yes.
And it's a privilege to have this interaction. The business model of customer service is blindness by design. It is a lazy and cowardly way of doing business. This type of thinking is a sharp departure from a business model based on loyalty. Loyalty is based on trust. You trust a certain car manufacturer to buy from because your past experience with that type of vehicle, as well as public perception, reinforces this. Human excellence is a major factor in excellent customer service. Human excellence can be summed up into three things: a person or a group of people working very hard to maintain a higher standard, or that same person or people committing to a higher standard in relationships, and committing to higher moral functioning. So morality.
They used to say the customer's always right. That was what we grew up on. You know what I'm saying? And that is gone.
But see, that's also built into work ethic and maintaining community, because all this comes from people buying things in shops.
Yes, exactly.
And your shop would not be in business for very long if you were a dirtbag vendor.
When we grew up, every company started out as a small company first and worked its way up. Everything, every bank, every car dealership, everything started out small and worked its way up. Now you got people with startup capital, and they start big and they get smaller as they consolidate.
I have direct lived experience with this as well as you do. We are from Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska, for a long time until all this stuff was shipped overseas, was the center of customer service phone centers.
Yeah, because we didn't have the accent. Yeah,
because we have a flat dialect, we controlled the telemarketing industry and customer service, not just telemarketing, but customer service industry as well. So one thing I learned many years ago when I was working as a telemarketer is basic customer service skills and how to relate to the customer. These things, they're gone now. They're gone. When you talk to these people, when you're paying your credit card over the phone, they try to relate, but it's somebody with a heavy accent, either in the Philippines or in India. And, they do their best, but they do not have the cultural context. The same way, I don't have cultural context to speak fluently about things that are going on in their lives that are related to their culture.
The other issue is sometimes the language barrier, we get it, the accent's a problem, but those words have different connotation and denotation to them. The connotation is different because words just mean different things in different regions, not just of the world, but even in this country. Certain words have different meanings, and that's just what it is. And that sometimes things are lost in translation, and you don't get your point across. It's frustrating, but this goes back to what you call the cowardice. This is by design. We're creating a situation where it's difficult for you to get a positive outcome, and then we're putting barriers in your way, and we do these things on purpose because we just want to take your money and not be held accountable for our actions. And this is the world we're in right now. And like I said, you had a great observation when you said you think the start of it was eBay. What about Cricket? Because Cricket didn't have customer service. Cricket phones.
No, but eBay existed since 1996.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I just remember somebody having a Cricket phone.
Because here's the thing though, even when you back in that same time in the 90s, when you had an issue with your pager, you could call customer service and talk to a person.
Or you could go to a physical location. Even if they were out of town, they still usually had a local. We're a affiliate of ATS, yada yada yada. People, and so you still got to see a person. And again, I had a problem with my mom's internet, her cable, right? And this is what I hate about the South. People are polite, but sometimes they're dumb. I'm in Tennessee. I love all my people in Tennessee. I'm not dissing Tennessee. But there was an issue, and I walked in. We go to a physical location, and I talked to the first person. The second person was an older black guy. He didn't know. There was a younger black guy that heard what my problem was, walked right over. He said, "Excuse me, I just went through this. You have a dual band internet, but you only have one band turned on." And I said, "Yeah."
He was a customer?
No, he worked there.
Okay.
But he was helping somebody else, but he recognized my problem, and he knew the old dude wouldn't have been able to help me. He just knew right away. And he walks over, I said, "Yeah, I'm installing some cameras, and, you got 5 gigahertz or 2.5. It only works on 2.5. He says, you have 2.5. He goes in and turns on he takes my mom's cell phone, goes to the app, because I downloaded everything, and he showed, because I've done it at my house now, but that's my point. My mom would say, if that brother hadn't gotten involved, I said, if he hadn't gotten involved, we'd still be there 3 hours later, and old boy wouldn't have been able to help us. Nobody in there would have been able to help us because they didn't. But that guy right there knew exactly what we needed, and that's a problem. So literally, your customer service is based on the individual that you encounter.
I'll give you another example of cowardly and lazy customer service, and I've talked about this before, where I went to a FedEx location to ship off a package, and I wanted to pay with cash, and they wouldn't accept cash at the first location, even though they have accepted cash before. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's the law for you to accept U.S. currency. You have to accept legal tender. You have to. That's the law. Oh, well, it's my register. Then just say you're being lazy then. Don't say you don't accept cash. Just say you're not accepting cash because you want to fucking count the till.
You're a lazy piece of shit.
You don't want to count your drawer. Just say that. Just fucking say that. And don't sit here and lie and say you don't accept cash. So then I went to another location, and then the manager there told me exactly what I just said. That person is being lazy and they don't want to count their drawer. It was a young person that didn't want to accept cash. It was an older person that had no problem taking my cash at the other location.
It's embarrassing because we see this stuff with these other countries, and this is why America's getting their ass kicked. Even when people
but
talk
that was
about
exception through ambiguity, though.
Oh yeah, but here's a deal. You hear about everybody, all these other countries, or the physical shape. They're this military. People are afraid of having a war right now because they think that as long as we got bombs and ships, we're fine. But if it's actual hand-on-hand combat, nigga, we in trouble. Because that attitude right there, you know what, I don't feel like going to war today. Next thing you know what, I'll be conquered. I don't mind. That shit right there. Back in the day, you used to say that was a lack of manhood, or they weren't tough.
Cowardice.
Yeah. But now that's the norm.
That's cowardly service.
This bullshit is the norm. And I remember being a kid, and you knew about Carnegie, you knew about all these titans of industry, you knew about Henry Ford, but you also knew about the common man. And the common man, you know what? I don't want to do what he did. I don't agree with their practices. Now it's just the opposite. Any unscrupulous thing a rich motherfucker does, oh, that's good business. Oh, I want to be like him. And they admire the scumbags. They're admiring these unscrupulous people. And it's becoming like, fuck. We're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was making fun of Steve Jobs because he was doing some kind of carrot diet to get over cancer. And I'm like, that's crazy because, as black folks, we know how to cure cancer, but that's another conversation. But it's just the fact that they're making fun of him. And I'm like, no, he was trying to cure some shit because he knew these doctors didn't have it. Somewhere along his training, his life, he experienced like, hey, these doctors ain't curing people. Let me try some abstract shit. And that's what he tried. Did he fail? I don't know. I don't know enough about the details. Was it too aggressive with the cancer? Whatever. But the bottom line is, you guys are admiring the wrong people. And my brother, you're putting cowardice on a pedestal. You are admiring pussiness, and that's a bitch ass nigga. How is a bitch ass nigga the one that we're admiring? And some of that shit is the fact that this younger generation, don't know what they're looking at, so that they're admiring the wrong person. They don't understand what is being done.
Let's look at hotels as an example. In Europe, there were not many places to stay when traveling 1500 years ago. People would stay at an inn or they would stay at an abbey, a monastery. In 500 AD, Saint Benedict of Nursia, who was considered the founder of modern Christian monastery systems, he established a school of the Lord's service. He wrote to each monastery. He told them to treat each traveler like they are Jesus. If the monk is fasting, break the fast to have dinner with a traveler that is alone to make them feel welcome. This was the beginning of the hospitality system in Europe. In Japan, the ryokan, or inn, goes back to 700 AD when Buddhist monks created a free rest house for religious travelers and others traveling throughout the country. It gave people shelter from the elements. That became a huge part of Japanese society, these ryokan, these inns. And so you see them in, ninja movies and samurai movies and movies about medieval Japan. But those blossomed and grew, and they were often by hot springs. So these will allow travelers to rest, but also recover and get the health benefits of going to the hot springs. So these ryokan had multifaceted purposes. And they gave people a sense of welcome and community in times that were violent and unpredictable. So in China, shelter for travelers were only available for government employees. Whole different mindset. That practice goes back to 1600 BC. Public inns became common when travel between states became a normal practice. The modern hotel was not introduced into mainland China until the 1970s. And in Hong Kong in the 1870s. Yeah, so it wasn't introduced into mainland China until the 1970s, and then in Hong Kong much earlier, 100 years before, in the 1870s, because of the British influence. But hotels are a good example of customer service. So I travel for work all the time, and I stay in different types of hotels, and there's hotels that I avoid because of the elements that they attract. A little travel hack for all you guys. If you want to travel and feel safe, say you got women or children with you, or you just don't want to be around a bunch of meth heads, crackheads, and hookers, do not stay at a hotel or motel that has a breezeway. What I mean is, do not stay at a hotel that is open to the outdoors, where the wind can blow in from the outside and there's an open gap between the rooms and the outdoors. Anytime you go to the hotel and it's exposed to the outdoors like that, there's going to be some seedy shit. People walking up to your room, knocking on the door, offering sex and drugs and whatever. Yeah, never stay at a hotel, motel that is open to where your room is open to the outdoors. Where there's like I said, the rain can blow in or the wind can blow in, or there's no AC between your room and the room across from you. So that is actually a benchmark for the quality of the hotel. Also, you'll find a lot of these budget hotels, motels across America as you're traveling are owned by the Indian people, or the Patel family to be particular. And they have quietly taken over small, low to mid-range motel hotels. And the quality has suffered. It's suffered because in their culture, only the highest quality is reserved for wealthy people. But if you go back to when you were first started traveling, before the Indian people took this stuff over, these were actually decent quality hotels. When you would travel with your parents somewhere, you could tell if it was a crappy hotel or not, or a crappy motel or not. You could tell. But this goes to the fact that you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get good customer service. So that's where I feel the tech companies and foreigners have pushed this country. When they travel, they expect the best. These people who make these apps, who offer little to no customer service, when they are spending the billions of dollars that they have made off of these apps, they want the best customer service. Isn't that crazy? It's like Monsanto, or who's Bayer now, when they have their corporate getaways and they're known for making GMO, crops and seeds.
They don't serve their own food.
They do not serve any GMO food at their corporate retreats. That's some customer service for your ass right there.
That's that shit right there.
Yes.
So you wouldn't even eat your own shit.
Regarding tech companies, they often avoid providing satisfactory customer service by implementing strategies that minimize direct interaction with customers. These strategies include relying heavily on self-service systems, automation, and limiting the scope of customer support due to the need to reduce costs. For example, companies such as Google and Meta have adopted a model where customer support is minimized and engineers are not incentivized to address individual customer issues. This approach is profitable for companies as it reduces operational expenses while maintaining a facade of support through chatbots, help pages, and other impersonal tools. So let's stop for a second and think about where things are going in the next 2 years, with thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of jobs being eliminated because of artificial intelligence automation. There's going to be more kiosks that you have to go to interact with than there will be people. There's more artificial intelligence agents that are doing the work of hundreds of people now. And without that human interaction, what we're going to is a colder society. Forget about the top-down control system. Forget about that for a second. Think more about your human interactions. This is done to create a world where people who are on the autism spectrum, who are damaged from some, type of process that they medical process they had done, they are more comfortable in this world. No one's making fun of them. They're not ostracized because everybody else is like them. And people like you and me are what they used to be, the outliers. That's fucking crazy.
They're convinced that everybody's damaged. And what makes you special is your damage and not what you persevere through. I was watching this video the other day where this dude, he said, you can heal yourself from anything. And, some of the things he talked about, he was talking about those old weightlifters and some of the things they would consume to, fix muscle tissue and fix tendons and stuff. And I'm like, if you have the attitude that you can't be healed, then you won't heal. And these doctors tell you the worst case scenario, you'll probably walk with a limp the rest of your life.
There is a gaslighting mechanism.
Yeah, fear-mongering
trying
gaslighting.
To get rid of the idea of natural immunity.
Well, I'm not even talking about natural immunity.
No. That's your immune system.
No, hold it. I agree, but I'm saying that. So anytime you sprain your, let's say you break something, you'll always have a limp. No, that's not how you're supposed to. Hey, look, if you do this, if you eat this, that you should be able to heal. They don't do that anymore. They tell you the worst case scenario, and then because of that, your expectations is that you're not going to heal properly.
But see, that's a wet form of gaslighting to keep you coming back to them and taking the power away from you, which you can use to heal yourself.
By me, because this guy's an expert, this lady's an expert, and they tell you that you'll never be normal again. You're like, oh fuck! You will train your brain. You are literally doing that with your brain. Like, oh fuck, what's the point? Or yeah. So that's fucked up. That's that bullshit. And this is where we are. Like you said, it's cowardice. It's literally, you're so afraid. People are more afraid of success than they are of failure.
Because this is the same generation of people that will not ask a woman out. I'll ask a woman out, they don't take the initiative.
They don't take chances.
Dude, I was working with somebody the other day who did not get their driver's license until they were 24. And I'm like, dude, that's freedom. No, I have rides for my friends but you were dependent on people though. You were dependent on people to get you around. That formed your personality.
Well, what about when that person wants a trip? What about when that person on a whim I don't feel like doing this, or they leave you someplace. Look, I had a homeboy leave me someplace one time, and I don't even drink that often, but this one time I was drunk, and I thought the only reason I felt comfortable drinking is because somebody else was driving, and I trusted this person, and motherfucker left me. My other homeboy, Mickey, looked out for me. He's like, "Hey, come on." And so he said, "Such and such left us." I'm like, "Nah, he wouldn't do that." And so I was like, "Okay, cool." I guess he thought that I couldn't get around, so there was a couple broads there. I'm like, "Hey, can y'all take me home? We're gonna party at my house." And they took me, Mickey, and whoever else was with me home. And then the person calls back like right at midnight. Oh, like midnight 40. You need me to come get you, man?
No,
I
because
got.
he found out that everybody's went to the party at your house.
Yeah, he realized that I wasn't beholden to him whatsoever, and that trust me, I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna pull me a bitch. She gonna take care of me, and I'm gonna get to where I need to get to. But that right, people having something on you is the problem, and nobody gets that. I got some bad examples of that. I was dating a chick that I got a homeboy that they used to date. She didn't tell me about it. He didn't tell me about it. She knows me. I don't want to date anybody that my homeboys used to date. I don't like that shit. I don't want to put my dick where he put his dick. You understand? So until dude got mad, he didn't tell me. So I kind of sensed it, and that's why I asked, like, "Hey, did y'all used to date? Because that nigga hugged you too long." Like, "Oh, no, no, no. Okay, cool." Then later on, when he got mad at her, he told me, like, "Hey, I used to date such and such." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I go off on her, and she's like, "What's the big deal?" Like, first things first, she was like, "You wouldn't have dated me if you knew this." Like, that is true. That's my choice. But what you don't get is this nigga had something on me. You gave this nigga leverage on me. Now, it doesn't matter that I don't want to diss anybody, but nigga didn't graduate high school. Nigga don't make as much as me. Nigga don't have as many cars, as properties as me. But because we fucked the same chick, he thinks we're equal. And you helped him with that. So yeah, I'm done with you. And but why? I want to say it. I want
Bring
to
it
say
back
this
though.
correct.
Bring it back, man. Like you're going
Yeah.
like far off. Come back.
Look, that's the cowardice part. But this is the part when somebody has something on you, you're beholden to them. No, like Roscoe is telling you, it's about freedom. You want to be able to come and go as you please. Some people don't want that. I get that. That's not their personality. But anytime that your fate is in somebody else's hands, they can change their mind. Not everybody's a good person. Not everybody has want good things for you, and you got to be careful about that shit. It's hard to explain, but it's hard. But it's even worse. But it's
I
really
think
easy to
music has gone
experience
away
that
from
shit.
freedom too.
Oh, but you said that when you talk about physical media going away. When you don't have physical media, that means that you're streaming. Say they make a song where they talk about revolution, and there's a line in there that's very potent.
You can take it
They
out
can
whenever they
remove it.
want. They can edit history.
Period. Period.
Yeah, that's
So,
how revisionist history happens.
so you can't find the Mandela effect if you ain't got the tape at home.
Right. So some companies also design their products in ways that makes it difficult for customers to access support or replace parts, effectively forcing customers to rely on self-service solutions. For example, EPOS, a tech company, stopped selling replacement charging cases for its earbuds, leaving customers with unusable products if they lost their original case. Right. So Apple does not sell replacement earbuds or cases separately, requiring customers to seek assistance from authorized service providers. Additionally, companies companies often structure their customer service processes to discourage customers from seeking help. For example, some companies use complex hierarchical call center structures where initial representatives are not authorized to offer refunds or significant assistance, forcing customers to escalate their issues through multiple levels of support. This can lead to long wait times, frustrating interactions, and a lack of resolution for customer problems. This is the cowardly service I'm talking about. In some cases, companies may also avoid customer service by exiting certain markets or ceasing support for older products. leaving customers without options for repairs or replacements. This approach is often justified as a cost-saving measure, but it can result in customer dissatisfaction and environmental waste, as seen in the case of EPOS, which stopped supporting its gaming business after 3 years, leaving customers with obsolete products.
How about this one? Have you ever tried to cancel a service and they damn near won't let you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the
Gym
time
memberships?
no, I had internet through CenturyLink. So, it used to be the old phone company, and so I was canceling it. And my homegirl worked there. She said it's gonna be hard to cancel. Like, why you mean? She's like, see, if you call them and they cancel it, they literally take money out of their pocket. They don't get their bonus or whatever. So they'll transfer, and then finally the fifth person is a different department, and they can cancel you. And sure enough, I got transferred 4 or 5 times before I could actually, end my service. And I'm like, this is some like fucking purgatory shit right here. This is customer service purgatory. So literally, they make it very difficult for you to cancel a service. It's almost like they're designed to discourage you, so you'll give up. Like, oh fuck, this is the third person. Fuck it, I'm gonna go. I'm just not do it. So yeah, you deal with that a lot.
The production of knowledge from your data is prioritized above all else. Your data is more important to these companies than retaining customers through quality customer service. Through micro-targeting, the strategies that can shape individual and collective behaviors are actually the most subtle forms of MK Ultra mind control. These corporations have used this data treasure chest and thought control systems to control the elections of countries, both foreign and domestic. In 2020, Apple and Google wanted pandemic contact tracing only used on their phones. This took responsibility away from public health institutions and governments. All of this is a power that is not shrinking but gaining, creating a momentum for tech companies to have Jesuit-level control over society in every sector of life.
For people who don't remember what that was, remember that you couldn't be in a group over 5 or 6 people, and so your cell phone would alert the authorities if you were there's too many people in the room, kind of thing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. They're making people behave like it's Nazi Germany, where you gotta like hide your phones to have conversations.
You got to have permission to do anything.
One thing people don't really know about is RTB, real-time bidding on data. And it is from the advertising tech industry. It is the auction-style structure that companies use to buy access to your screens. It is the data that is sent from Google and Facebook meta servers to third parties as a commodity. In the US, RTB data has 400 categories. Each category has hundreds of subcategories. Each person has a RTB profile that is broadcast 747 times a day. Your digital shadow, your strawman profile, is being broadcast for auction 747 times a day. RTB, real-time bidding on data. It is the behavioral surplus. It is farmed unwillingly from all people using digital devices. But something people should really consider about all this. Keep this in mind. When you start to become intimidated by this technology and the misuse of technology or poor moral structures behind the implementation of this technology. These systems that are made by people can also be unmade by people. These systems are sold as essential and vital constructs. They are not. Slavery existed for 400 years. It was seen as necessary. Yet it was abolished. Child labor followed soon thereafter, for many decades after slavery ended. Child labor was also abolished.
They made it seem like it was a necessity, like we couldn't live without it, but clearly we could.
Right.
You just got to take the chance and do it. Shit.
You have to learn how to say no. You have to learn how to say,
I'm not
I don't
going for
need
that.
this shit. So I did some work for this guy 2 days ago, and he's big into using artificial intelligence, and he's selling his services as a consultant to local governments and small businesses and churches. And he's big on it. He's bullish on this thing, and he's really, optimistic about it. And I said to him, it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs. He's like, yep. He said, you can be a part of it and make some money, or you can be run over. I said, no, there's another option. You can just decide to say no and offer a good or service that can't be replaced by artificial intelligence. You can run a business that is essential or desirable to the common good. Artificial intelligence cannot run a beehive. It can't make honey. It can't be a beekeeper. It cannot change your tires. It cannot come in and wire up your house. It cannot do a lot of things that we need people to do.
People are trying to solve a problem that's not a problem.
We were just talking about cars before this.
Here, yes.
If you have cars all electric, that's great. But who's going to change them tires?
They still need repairs. They still need maintenance.
Who's going to change the windshield when you get in an accident or somebody busts your window? You need people for these things. You have to interact with people. And this comes full circle to what I was saying about the beginning, that all business interactions are built on trust. If you can eliminate trust as a foundation of customer service, what kind of society do you have? You have one where people are cowardly. They don't want to look each other in the eye, and they're not serious individuals. It's a cowardly mentality, and nobody wants to call it out because everybody is so afraid of being canceled. I don't give a fuck about that. I do not give a Frenchman's fuck about none of that. Let them eat cake. I don't give a shit. You can try and cancel everything. This show has been shadow banned down to a handful of listeners.
Man, that shit is frustrating because you're not doing anything wrong, but they convince you that you're doing something wrong because you're being punished.
And people see this show and they think, man, only 4 people listen to the episode? No, man. Way more people listen to it. But they're hiding that shit. I've seen them take away views.
I've had people call me and mention it. Like, hey, like a pretty good show today. Cool. But then I talked to my boy Roscoe. He's like, no, we only have so many listeners. Like, nah, they're fucking with you. They're trying to make you uncomfortable to do anything. Fuck that shit. No, nobody has a right to manipulate the numbers and make you think that you're less than what you are.
But all of this is tied to where humanity is going. You know what, man? Like, this whole thing about people not reproducing, I think part of that is gaslighting.
Richard Pryor talked about that on the album. Like, yeah, everybody doing yoga. You can't get no nut doing no yoga. What they're saying is they were trying to convince people back then there was too much population and you shouldn't be having children. But the fact of the matter is this. They say everybody on Earth can fit in the state of Texas. So that means that we have plenty of land to go around. Oh. They don't want you to sit here and grow your own food, raise your own animals, and have your own land. They don't. So they convince you that there's too many people. It's fear-mongering, gaslighting, whatever else you want to call it.
Listen, about 2 weeks ago, I drove across the width of the entire United States. No bullshit. Duct tape will tell you this is true. I did it. I drove from Atlanta, Georgia, to the California border. Now, from the California border, that borders Nevada, to the Pacific Ocean, is not that much space difference. Maybe like another 5 hours, 6 hours maybe. But America is wide. It's
vast.
It's very wide. It's more wide than it is tall, okay? And there is so much space in the United States. There is so much room for everybody. Straight up, man. Like, you can drive and drive and drive, and you still won't see all of it. Like, there's
But how about
so
this?
much
You'll
fucking
drive
space.
and drive and won't see people. You won't see houses. I just took a train from here to Denver. There is a lot of land out there with nobody fucking on it.
Nobody, dude. There's nobody out there, man. Like, you fly over it, you drive through it, you take a train through it, and you see there's nobody out there, dude. Like, there's times where I was just driving through Wyoming, driving through Utah, driving through Nevada. There's nothing. Nobody. There's darkness. There's nothing.
My daughter's up in Montana right now. She's like, it's nothing out here, Dad. Look, here's how to get you. So if you've driven on the Midwest going south or going east, like gas stations are every 10 miles.
Oh,
but if you drive going west, they can get gas when you can.
Well, listen, let me stress this to everybody listening. If you are driving west of Colorado, let me tell you something. Have a gas can in your car, fill it up, put it in the trunk. You're going to need it because you will drive and you will drive and you will drive. You need to fill up all the way to full. Do not fuck around driving in the West because the West is the West. It's vast and people do not give a fuck about you out there. You are on your own in the West. They still got that settler mentality out there. You are on your fucking own in the West. Nobody is out there to help you. You got to fill up your gas tank between gas stations. Do not fuck around. I'm giving you for real ass serious advice. Do not fuck around out West.
Like I told you, people think it's a joke. Because you'll fuck around and forget what a gas station looks like. Like, goddamn.
Oh, man. Station? No, dude, like, and this is the crazy thing. On the interstate, the gas stations start to look more janky as you go further west. Like, you know, you're used to like a Flying J, Buc-ee's, you know, Quick Trip, Love's, you know, Pilot, whatever. Nope. Those fucking gas stations. You start going further west, man, and sometimes it's just a motherfucker that got two pumps.
It's a mom and pop joint. Some shit you see from
no, two gas pumps. You go from a Buc-ee's, which has like 150 of them, looks like a fucking football field full of gas stations, to two gas pumps, as in two cars. That's what I'm talking about. That's how fucking sparse it is out west. Dude, drive across Wyoming and you see what I'm talking about. Drive across Colorado, past Denver. Dude, past Denver, like going up like Breckenridge and shit, there's nothing out there. Dude, like, motherfuckers talking about going to like, you know, Park City, you know, for Sundance film festival and shit. Well, I drove through where Sundance is. And man, let me tell you, those gas stations are hella far apart, dude. And they're small. And like, you have to pay attention because you'll pass them up quick.
Well, look, how about this? Like, I'm up in the mountains in Denver. And, you know, we doing stuff, we kicking it. And I'm like, we need to gas up now. Look, no, we had to drive 10 miles back the other direction to get some gas, then go towards Denver. And
because beyond that, there was nothing.
Nothing. Like,
it's down. Make sure your car is in good shape, decent shape.
Good repair,
Don't
yeah.
be driving some shit that's going to fuck up.
Ain't nobody coming for you.
Nobody.
It's like a horror movie.
That is not the place to break down, dude. It's wild. People think it's a game. I'm like, my man, this is not a fucking game. Like, you will fucking die out there.
Well, even when you're driving at night and don't see shit for a while, you'll think of a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? You would think of some shit like, oh, this is scary. Yeah, ain't nothing out there. Street lights, nothing. Yeah, even
That's
the animals
the crazy part. In the South, in the Midwest, there are lights on the interstate. Up north, there's lights on the interstate. East Coast, there's lights on the interstate. Dude, out west there is
they ain't got time for it.
Now, the benefit is, boy, them stars are beautiful. Like, you can see the entire solar system. You can see the entire galaxy. Like, it's insane, like, how bright the starlights are. But That's because there's no fucking lights on the side of the road. There's no light. Nothing's illuminated. Like, you break down, motherfucking just like a Wendigo or a fucking skinwalker can just snatch your ass off the side of the interstate. That's it.
Stay with your car, nigga.
The Rogaroo got him. Like, that's it.
So they can find your ass. And it's so far, you don't know which way to walk. Should I walk back to where I came from? Should I walk forward to what's next? You don't know. Fuck that shit.
That's the wild part. It's like, and see, okay, I'm going to tell you another thing, man. And y'all going to think I'm cuckoo crazy for this shit. Go to Barnes & Noble, because it's the only place you could buy them now. I used to be able to buy them at a gas station. You can't buy them at gas stations no more. A map book of the 50 states and the roads and the interstates in those states. Listen, man, have that in your trunk when you are driving across. You know why? Because you will encounter places where there's no signal. What the fuck are you going to do then? See, like, the reason why I'm not intimidated at, because number one, I know how to read a map, and I come from a time where there was no internet and you had to read a map. Let me ask you a question. You traveled a lot in the pre-internet days. Do you remember, how'd you get around? How'd you know how to get from Oklahoma to Nebraska?
Oh no, I just drove north. I took, what is it, 55 north? But I'll give you an example.
No. So you're glossing over it and you're making light of it. Tell the truth. How did you navigate back then? Because you drove to all different kinds of places. You didn't just go to college.
Okay, so my mom would tell me, like, okay, from Oklahoma to Memphis is I-40. You take let me see. You take
There's
35.
No African griot passing this down, though. You know what I'm saying? It was in a fucking book.
No, seriously.
You
would
had to
look at
open
it.
the book and stick your head in it.
And you would look at it like, okay, 40 will take me all the way to Memphis. Okay. And then when I got to Memphis, I was trying to come
even write it down and, like, have a little notebook.
Nope.
All right, so
nope.
From here, I'm going to catch this. From here, I'm going to catch this. Or you have it in your head. When I get to here, I'm going to catch this. When I get to Kansas City, I'm going to take 29, I'm going to go north. So
for me, what it was, I was coming to see you, and I drove to Memphis. I was going to stop. My cousin said, "You going to Atlanta? Don't stop." It was my cousin Atlanta, the one you met. He said, "Take Lamar Street. Lamar Street becomes 55, and that will take you on into Atlanta." And that's what I did. I think it was 55 on into Atlanta. And we didn't really have cell phones because we couldn't afford cell phone service anyway, because, we was in college. So I got there, went to the first gas station, called you, and we hooked up. That's how we did it.
Yeah. And it was crazy. I told you how to get to my house.
Yeah.
I said, come down this street. You're going to look for this. You're going to make a right turn. When you get to this gas station, go through the gate. I'm at the top of the hill.
See, a nigga who don't drive don't give good instructions. We got a homeboy, he has narcolepsy. That nigga gives you walking directions. I hate that shit. A nigga who don't drive, they give you, make a left at the old oak tree. No, nigga, I need some landmarks that I can recognize.
Talking about.
Yeah. So, I'll give you an example. I met this chick, and she was in Kansas City. I did MapQuest to her house. So I turned off the MapQuest, and get to Kansas City was easy, but the MapQuest took me all the way to her apartment. So that's before GPS and shit. If you got a MapQuest, it would tell you up to that person's front door. So yeah, we survived without GPS. We survived without internet. Well, shit, the internet helped me, but still, somebody told me how to get somewhere. You would listen. They would like you find like an old truck driver.
Dude, in high school, I drove to the Mall of America. I used a map book. That's it. That's it. There was no anxiety or stress. I'm like, all right, we're gonna drive to here, and then we're gonna drive to here, and then we'll be there.
Look,
there was also no overthinking shit. Like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're gonna do it.
But by them giving you GPS, my homeboy was talking about his son and that shit. He's like, "How are we going to get there?" He's like, "You don't need GPS." He's like, "You don't need that. You decide what." See, with my kids, I tell them, "Put your seatbelt on, but decide what route you're going to take."
So next. His son didn't have no idea of thinking about it without GPS.
Yeah, and so he's like, "No." He took the phone from him, like, take 72nd, da 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 da. You've been here your whole life. You don't need GPS now.
Hold
If
on,
you're
sir.
trying to find a house,
This is somebody who lives there, and he was trying to
yep.
get where?
Okay, this is okay.
Don't tell me
He
who
was
it is. Just tell me
no,
the
no, no. That's
particulars.
not it. No, no. So he's going from, the Amazon store in Council Bluffs to the Amazon store in Omaha. Then he's going to a place on 72nd. Then he's going someplace else. So it was like 4 or 5 locations, and he's like, nope. He said you need to decide how you're going to get there right now, and let's go. So, but that's what
Was
you
he in
got
the
parents.
car with them?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But that's what you got parents for. See, that's the whole thing, is that people ain't parenting anymore. They're feeding you, then they walking off trying to make another kid or find some more pussy. That's the problem. You have to be active in your child's life. Teach them how to do shit. That's where everybody acts like shit is complicated. Teach them how to do shit. If you teach them how to do shit, then they'll know how to do it. And don't be assuming they know how to do the shit because they went to school. No. So, yeah, I tell my kids, like, okay, we're going to Carter Lake. How we going to get there? We're going to take Ames. Then we're going to go down to your homeboy's shop and make a left. Yep. Let's go. You decide the route you're going to take.
Did you teach all of them to drive?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody.
Okay. But when you were teaching them how to drive, did you talk to them about navigation?
Yeah, like I said, I told them, as soon as you put your seatbelt on, what's the next thing you do? Mirrors? No. Decide what route you're going to take. Then do the mirrors. That's the whole thing, is that you get to decide what street you're going to take. Make a left, make a right here. Okay, so you get there, there's a roadblock. Okay, what you going to do next? That's about navigation. You have to decide the route. People don't talk about that shit anymore. When I was a kid, my mom would say, I'm lost. How do you get home from here?
You know what the earliest form of that is? Tracking.
But, oh, look, okay, me and you, we had to figure out how to get home from a lot of different places.
No, but I'm talking about like people tracking animals, and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying, like primitive skills. Now, you know what's funny? When I wanted to go somewhere in Omaha, I would look at a map. I would look at a map of all the streets. But I also see this. I must tell you, we have the benefit of growing up in a grid city. Los
Oh, yeah.
Angeles, Chicago, Miami,
Even New
New
York.
York.
Nope,
These are
not grid.
all grid cities. And
Well, hold
so
it.
the benefit of
dad
growing up
taught
in a
us.
grid city is that number streets go one way,
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying your
letters
dad taught us
and name
that.
streets go another way. You know, there is a logic to the way the streets are laid out. Down here, the only grid is in the small downtown area. Everything else, it weaves and it turns, and one street turns into another street, and this becomes that. There's no logic to it.
Hold it. So this was about the conversation about cowardice. You can't be scared to do anything. You know, they breed fear into everything, so you're uncomfortable. But I remember one of the things that came up. This was like in 2008, and they were talking about all the World War II vets were dying off and things like that. And they were saying a lot of the stuff that the government and these establishments are doing is because there's no opposition. Back in the day, you had real vets that would like, no, we ain't standing for this shit. So as those people died off, as the Vietnam vets died off, all these different people who had real balls are dying off. The government, it feels free to do that. These companies, these organizations feel free to do shit to us because they know that there's no voice out there that's like, hey, nah, stand up. Come on, let's go do this. So that's why when we talk about little things like cowardice, it's really important that you recognize that shit is manufactured, that was taught to you, that was something that they put in your head in grade school, then junior high, then high school and college. Or you need a specialist, or you need to know this, or you need to know that. You don't. You are enough. And it's very important that you get this, that you understand this right now. Like, okay, I can survive this. I can do anything. I'm not the first man or woman to walk this earth by myself. God, give me some insight and just go. Clench your butthole and go. Stop being afraid. Talk to a girl. Talk to a dude. Go out for a job. Start your project. film your movie, cut your grass, build your birdhouse. Because we was some birdhouse building motherfuckers when we were kids, nigga.
Birdhouse, doghouse,
Built 19 different goddamn
forts, bike ramps.
Because when we grew up, they wanted you to be brave and tough and this, that, and the other. Those things were coveted. Now those things are, you're a terrorist. They're not coveted anymore. And so not because they're not effective, because they don't want you competing with them. They don't want you to have the ability to start your own business, make your family great, have a family compound with all your kids and relatives out there. That shit. Because then they don't need you. Or excuse me, you don't need them, pardon me. But they need you. So yeah, this cowardice thing, don't subscribe. Let that
you think about
lapse.
it though? They've manufactured their own obsolescence.
Period. But we don't see it that way. But you got to see it that way. They created a situation where they aren't needed, but they don't realize they're doing it. So yeah, manufactured obsolescence, my nigga. Pay attention.
But also, I think about the kids, the young people in our lives. I wonder, are they retaining these things? Do you think your kids are retaining the things that you've taught them?
Yeah.
Are you seeing like proof of this? Do you have proof of this?
Yeah, I got a daughter in Montana right now. She's at an Indian, like, yeah, of course, she's homesick.
Why is she on a res?
Because she graduated from Creighton and they got to do a year of service. She's doing her service on an Indian reservation. I don't know, because she's on some kind of camp working with the kids and shit. So, but that's the, so she already hit me up. She's like, hey, I don't like it here. I'm like, look, I said, you were the.
Why does she not like it there?
Because she doesn't have her own space. She has roommates. There's 4 of them in a room. They're always together. You're always working. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but she's always been very independent.
Yeah, and that's, I said, look, I said, you were in Upper Bound. You know what dorm life is like. See, here's the problem. When you were in college, you didn't stay on a dorm. You stayed at home. So since Upper Bound, it's been 4 years since you've been in a roommate.
Was Upper Bound difficult for her?
No. It was cool. She loved it. So I'm just saying, you've already had these experiences before, you know. And the thing is,
did she always have her own room as a kid, or she have her share with her brothers and sisters?
No. She always had her own room. Then she got older, and got a sister, and then they ended up sharing later on. So, but like I said, you've had these experiences before. What it is is
she doesn't have control.
Yeah,
she doesn't have control of the situation, and she likes having control of the situation.
Well, no, she thought these experiences were behind her.
Right.
Like, I won't have to do this again. Like, no, you put yourself in this situation. You are currently. And I told her, I said, if it gets bad though, Dad'll come get you. I don't give a fuck if it's in Montana. I don't give a fuck where you at. If you
no, but make her endure it though.
Oh yeah, no. That's what this is about. But if for some reason you don't feel safe, if for some reason, I'm a phone call away. I looked it up. It's about 11 hours, 6 hours, whatever. Oh, okay. I gotta go. Yeah.
Is it near a capital or is it like out in the country?
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's a res. Look.
Did she have her own vehicle to get to and from there?
Nope. No. They flew her in and they share a vehicle, so they got vehicles. They basically supply everything. So I'm like, it's not that bad. You just ain't used to this. You're like, you know.
Are there any other black people there?
I didn't ask that question yet.
That's important.
Yeah.
She probably feel. But you know what? Okay, but you're not always gonna be around your own people. You know what I'm saying? And get used to that. Like, okay, like don't understand that you can survive without your own people until you get back to your people.
But that's what school is for. School is about teaching things. And so a lot of times, this tells you that people, when they go to school, they don't go there to learn. School is teaching you how to deal with the world. This college, the university is teaching you how to deal with the world. And plus, you talk about getting her. She was pre-law. She's thinking about going to law school. So my other homeboy, his kid went to Howard, went to all these different. He went to Creighton, went to Howard. Howard is the highest of the black schools when it comes to that, but it's still out of the top 50. So he got a full ride to University of Nebraska, which was top 48. But then they went up to, I think, the top 30 something now. So if you want to be a lawyer, you want to be in that top 50. So yeah, look, like I said, most of the time, this tells you when people go to school, they're not learning anything, or schools ain't teaching anything. So when you do have a school that's trying to teach you how to deal with the world, not just deal with your, like you said, your own people, your own little area. This is a worldview, and this is putting you in somebody completely different. And like I said, she's been to the border. She saw the border crisis. She saw Chinese nationals get arrested at the border. So Creighton has this. She was in Louisiana. She was in Chicago. Yeah. So
Does she understand why those Chinese people are getting arrested?
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, because they ain't supposed to be here, but
no, but they were military age young men.
Yeah. So, but this is the whole point we're making. They're making you scared, so you won't be who you're supposed to be. So you won't be effective. So you won't be whatever.
Gaslighting.
So, yeah. So you got to watch that shit. It's a thing. Cowardice is not a place you want to be. It's okay to be afraid because you're cautious. It's okay to be afraid because, hey man, this is physically might hurt me. But it's not okay to be a pussy. It's not. Stop that shit. Don't be afraid to call customer service, my nigga. How about that? Don't get discouraged when you call these motherfuckers because they owe you. They wanted your money. They got to give you their loyalty. They got to perform.
Yes, that's correct. So just remember, all business interactions are built on trust. And human excellence is a major factor in excellent customer service. Always strive for something higher. Do not accept anything inferior. That's all I got. We out. Peace.
Yo, holla back.